folks. It is Mrs. Phillips back again to give you a few tips about editing and revising your rough draft so that it can be published as a good copy and handed in to Google Classroom. So when I say published, basically what that means when you're editing and revising for publication or to publish your work, it means that you are making it as clean and neat and perfect for other people to read. You are putting it out there for the world to see. In your case, your essay is going to be seen by me. So I've taken a couple of examples from what I have seen submitted in the last week, and I'm going to use these examples to help you edit and revise your work. If you recognize these as yours, thank you very much. I'm really appreciative of all the work that's been handed in, and I think you guys are doing a great job of plugging away and getting your learning done from home. So the first example is from a grade 10 rough draft. So the novel being used is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Now this example starts off with a great topic sentence. It says, "It's difficult to be yourself because individuality and differences are often punished in our society." Now this is great. However, what is missing here is the thesis statement. I want you to make sure that you clearly state your opinion at the end of your introductory paragraph. This is your thesis. So you need to make sure that you're stating your opinion at the end of your intro. This is your thesis statement. Without stating that opinion and without making it clear which quote you are either agreeing or disagreeing with, it's really difficult to understand what your argument is. So you want to make sure that you've got your thesis clearly stated at the end of your intro. Now, in this week's lesson for both the grade 10s and the grade 11s, I have included a form, basically a document, that gives you instructions on how to write your introduction. This should help you format that first paragraph of your essay. And basically, you're using this little roadmap here. You want to start really general in introducing your topic. Then you're going to talk about the texts you're going to be discussing in your essay. You're going to very briefly summarize what your arguments are going to be, and you end with your thesis. Your thesis is that opinion statement. You're telling us, yes, I agree with the quote, or not. And this diagram helps you as well. So that document can be found in both the grade 10 and the grade 11 Google Classrooms so that you can use it to help you write your intro. Now, this paragraph here is a body paragraph, and this person has done a really good job of using answer, prove, explain format to present their argument. So the first thing that starts off this paragraph is a topic sentence or a statement of the argument, which is the answer part of an APE paragraph. And then the student goes on to offer proof. And you can identify the proof by just glancing at whether or not there are quotation marks. So this individual has actually used a really nice quote from The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. What needs to be included is the citation. If you're using MLA formatting, which is the Modern Languages Association formatting for essays, which is what we use in English class, you would put in an in-text citation. I don't actually have the page number here, so I'm just going to make one up. But you would put the author's last name and the page number followed by the punctuation. So you've got Alexi 123, and then you end it with the period. That tells me that I have taken this quote from the novel, and I can find that quote if I need to, if I go to the book. Now, at the end of your essay, you are going to be including a works cited page, and I've put this down as example 3 in this document. I've written down the citations for both the grade 10s and the grade 11s to be included in your works cited page. Many of you are using the novel as well as a TV show or film. So in addition to the novel citation, you're going to have to do your film or TV show citation as well. You just have to look up the information about who the director was, the title of your TV show or film, and then you're going to write up the citation in there. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Now, finally, in this paragraph, we've got the answer, we've got the proof. So the answer, proof, finally, the explanation comes right in this last section here. And you can see how very nicely this student has actually offered explanation on the novel, but then he's actually gone on and provided a proof and explanation from the film that he's using. And he's using Wonder as his second text. And he offers another proof and explanation to really solidify his argument, which is amazing. Now, I'm going to take a moment here to actually show you some MLA formatting. When you are formatting your document, you want to make sure that everything is written up in number 12 font. So the size of your font should be 12, and you should be using either Arial or Times New Roman. This student is already using Arial, so it's perfect that way. And finally, what you want to do is make sure it is double spaced. So with MLA formatting, your font should be Arial or Times New Roman. It should be size 12. And then you go over here and you just make it double spaced so that it looks like that. Now, the second example I've got here is another paragraph. This student started off by stating his thesis statement, which is awesome. And then he dives in to talk about his argument. I've just taken one paragraph. One reason why it is true is because both Sheldon and Leonard realize when they started living together that both of them are scientists and both have the same interests. Now, in here, what I want to point out is this student dives into talking about characters from a television show. I think they're talking about the Big Bang Theory. But if I didn't know that show, I wouldn't know who they're talking about. So make sure that when you are talking about your second text or whatever text you're talking about, you actually tell your reader what it is that you're referring to. Assume that your reader does not know. So you want to make sure that you're contextualizing your argument and giving us enough information to understand what you're talking about. This student actually dives right into a proof right here. Try to break this up a little bit. When you're editing and revising, you want to read your stuff out loud to yourself so that you can kind of hear the flow of your sentences and break things up a little bit. So here, I would say something like, I would start off actually with more of an answer. It is true that, and I'm going to glance up at the quote. It is true that a real friend is one who walks in when others walk out. An example of this are the friends in the television show Big Bang Theory. Now, a couple of things I'm going to show you. First off, I can very easily correct spelling mistakes using Grammarly. So I have Grammarly up here. I'm signed into Grammarly, and it helps me make just very simple corrections just by clicking. There we go. And I'm just fixing up the words based on what Grammarly is suggesting. Another thing that I want to show you is in MLA formatting, you want to indicate when a title is the title of a text or a show by using either quotation marks or italics. And you also want to use capitals appropriately by capitalizing titles. Right? So I've made a few tweaks there. Then he goes on to talk about his proof. So rather than a quote here, he's actually using specific reference to the television show. And then when I get down to where he finishes his quote, I'm going to put in a citation. So for this, it would be the title of the show, Big Bang Theory, because we don't have an an author, and it would just be like so. And then down here in the citations, I would have Big Bang Theory, and I have to look up the publication information. I don't have it offhand, so I'd have to actually go to Google and say the Big Bang Theory, and I'd look it up. And oftentimes in Google, Google is so useful. Right in here, it gives you tons of information about who wrote it and where it came from. So Big Bang Theory, the first episode was September 2007. It was, I don't know who actually, I'd have to look up what production company actually published it. IMDb is a really good source for that. But I would basically find out who the director was or who the writers were and who produced it. And then I would be able to put in all the information. So I would use like an online tool for that. And you would put that into the works cited page just down here below. And so I would put, say, the writers, um, producer, production company, and the date, right? Something like that. And I would have to look it up and plug it in right there. Now, finally, you can see that this individual did not use Times New Roman or Arial. So I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm going to use my little tools up here in Google Docs to choose Arial. I like Arial. It's like clean and neat. I'm going to use size 12 and I'm going to make sure this is double spaced, and it sure is. There we go. So now I know that it's MLA formatted. Right. And then last but not least, I just want to reiterate that you should have a works cited page at the very end of your essay. Now, I'm just going to go back to the documents that I've posted for week 16. I do have a PDF sample MLA paper for you to have a look at, which gives you all the instructions on formatting your writing. So a couple things you can note: you should insert your last name and page number on each of the pages. So to do that, you simply go Insert, Header, and you go to the header, and I would go tab, 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 so that I get over to this side here, and I'm gonna put in Phillips, because that's my last name, space, and then I'm gonna insert page number, and I'm going to put it right up at the top, right there. And what that allows me to do is have my last name and page number on every page of my essay, Phillips 1. Now, the other thing that you do, again, is Times New Roman or Arial, size 12 font, which is outlined for you here. And then over here, up at the top, you would want to put your name, your teacher's name, the course, and the due date. So for you, this would look like, it's going to be normal text. You don't need any kind of special text here. It would be, I was submitting this, I would put T. Phillips, and I would put Mrs. T. Phillips, and I would put ENG 2P1 04, or I would put ENG 3C104, and I would put the due date. So your due date is Sunday, May, what is that? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, May 24th, 2020. And again, this should be all double spaced. So the entire document will be double spaced. That's your publication information. And then you would have some kind of title. So you would put in something like, you could do something creative like Real Friends Walk In, or you might have just something simple like Opinion Essay. It's up to you. I like a creative title, but whatever you're feeling is good with me for now. Anyway, so I did want to just throw out a few comments for you to, contemplate as you are fixing up your essay. Just a few things that I always tell students. Once again, read your work out loud. It often helps to, hear the logical flow of your arguments and catch any errors in sentence structure or wording. You should be writing an intro and a conclusion in addition to your 3 body paragraphs. So in total, you should have 5 paragraphs to this essay: an intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And then finally, you're formatting this as best you can using MLA formatting, which is where you're going to look at this document and copy what it says. It's got some tips for you to help you out. I hope that helps. The Google Meet office hours that I have set up are optional, and they're simply for you to be able to ask me questions in real time. But remember that you are able to email me whenever you want. I basically check my email Monday to Friday from like 8:30 to 3 p.m., just like a school day. And to be perfectly honest, I check it on the weekends also. And if I see that a student needs a response right away, I try to offer a response as soon as possible. Guys, remember that learning is continuing. You are going to be back in school eventually, and you do need these skills in order to carry on with your learning. So it's really important that even though marks aren't changing a whole lot, like they can't drop from now on, it's really important to keep at it with your work and to keep learning and growing so that you've got what you need when you're back in the classroom. I hope all of that helps. I will be posting this document to Google Classroom as well as the Screencastify video so that you can use it to help you with your writing. Email me with any questions. I can't wait to see your essays. Have a great day, guys. Be safe. Be happy. Bye-bye.